the cone explodes. So, alright, so compositionally, we have Diana and Oriana. Oriana wins that early, but Diana has kill threat, post 6, fairly reliably. Also, there's Kha'Zix involved in all this. So, Kha'Zix really wants kills that he can get to from brushes on champions without mobility. So he can close on Diana, and he can come in with the ball, and Oriana's ultimate, with Kha'Zix coming in from Invis, is really potent. So they actually have reliable kill setup on Diana post 6, and they can punish Diana for trying to take those aggressive trades that she's going to want to take in this matchup. Ashe Zyra has crazy CC, so Kha'Zix is going to probably want to end up playing bot side. They might be able to kill top lane early like Ornn, but they wouldn't want to end up 2v2ing because Warwick is really strong in a 2v2, and because Ornn will get to a point where he's not killable in that scenario anyway. So Kha'Zix is going to want to play bot side. Warwick doesn't have very much kill setup on the bottom side of the map, so it's probably better for him to play top side, try to deflect the Kha'Zix skanks that will happen toward mid, and try to get his Diana ahead so that she has more availability for kills, and she can do those kills with less commitment, or at least be safer in lane. And then top lane, because Ornn has tons of CC, and if he can make this Ornn really tanky, then Ornn has a extremely reliable engage that Warwick can follow off of from there. And though if they can get ahead of Darius, then Darius will never be able to deal with that kind of engage. So this Warwick should play off top side. Kha'Zix should play off bot side. It's always fun when junglers have opposite sides of the map that are ideal for them, because it means that they should have conflicting ideas. So like this Warwick started top side and he's pathing toward bot, so that means his first outing probably won't be super successful, but he could potentially do like an early dragon if it's not scouted, or he can just do like a really slow clear and then path back toward top lane with the camps that are coming back up first. Diana's getting ran the fuck down. He should push that in, make sure he pushes that in all the way to the turret. Trying to tell from the minimap. Bot lane, Ashe Zyra should theoretically win this lane, but Lux, Ezreal have like pick potential, especially at like 6, because if a Lux bind ever lands on either of them, then you have kill pressure. You want them to have to come forward toward you, so if you're like poking at them under turret, it's a little less ideal because you have less room. But so if the lane is like more toward the middle, that's probably ideal for you, because then you can be off to the side and get look for your roots that'll set up you guys as pressure. This is your opportunity. You can move up really aggressive here. That bind is actually really bad, because with the health that she's at and where Ashe was, you could actually move forward to make that bind basically guaranteed, and then you could throw the bind where she basically can't dodge it, and she would have to flash at that point, or she would just die. Because the creeps, even if you start a fight there, you're not going to get hit by the creeps. So you can just literally walk up into her face and like threaten her. When she moved that far forward, and she had just gotten hit by the Ezreal Q, so she was at like 300 health. That's pretty free. That bind is good. Follow up on the Warwick. I don't know why he went after the Ashe after the initial play, because he could have just made that Zyra die a lot faster, and then he doesn't spend as much time doing it, but he also doesn't even have his red buff yet, which is interesting. He should do like a full clear back up toward like top side, because his camps will be coming back up, because he's he went mid and then he went bot lane all before finishing up those camps. It's very rare you actually see like an Ornn get his combo off. It's remarkable. I'm happy for him. Staying in range of Darius when he has his nice Ayana thing. When he has his passive up, very bold. Very bold. Yeah, that's the 20% more damage one, right? Epic. And then it also gives you the reflect immunity. It's really nice. After you guys got the kill in bot, could you have pushed up and reset? Because you got a reset, but he didn't, which is interesting, because he's going to be relatively weak. but you guys had the opportunity to be able to push in and get a clean reset. Because now, like, you're really low, but if you get forced into, like, a reset here, then you're going to miss creeps that you didn't need to, so that's poor timing. I don't know what Warwick's doing. Could actually just die. Can't get that close to turret. Hello? Yeah, so Ezreal's going to miss one wave. But that wave didn't need to be missed, because you guys were the ones that had priority. 20%. It's 20% increased AoE if you killed recently, right? Not more. If it's more, like, I think they changed that at some point. It used to be more. It was fucking nuts. Oh, what Kha'Zix could do here is he could go out in between the turrets and harry Ezreal on his way back to the turret, so that Ezreal would get chunked before going back. Like, he could have been the one to initiate, like, this right here. And that would slow Ezreal on his way back to lane, deny Ezreal another wave if he gets chunked at all. Diana. Interesting. The mutton animal. He's literally a filthy mongrel, dude. She should die. Yeah, that's so free. So the response to Kha'Zix is good. Kha'Zix could have either just like chunked Ezreal and then evacuated through the through bot, like through the same way that you were coming from, because he would only have to dodge a Q and then he would get out scot-free. The way he tried to evacuate is bold. Or he could have just gotten out if he didn't all-in Diana, but he wanted the kill. I respect that, you know. Sometimes you just gotta slice up somebody with your claws. Power to you. If you popped that instantly, it would have hit. So when they hit 6, they have extremely high kill pressure, and Kha'Zix should be looking bot lane on their level 6 power play, which should be as soon as Ashe does, but it helps too if Zyra is. Because they have the damage to really reliably. You should have flash down still too when they hit 6, and if they just pop both ultimates into you, you will actually just die with like no counterplay basically. Even if they hit Ezreal with it, Ezreal can die with no counterplay. Well, Ezreal has like his E obviously, but if you fire a point blank arrow, like, it's unrealistic. This Darius should move away from rocks. That's the only way that Ornn gets meaningful damage out of his E. So you and Ezreal are both on really straddled back timings, which is leading to a lot of awkward situations where one of you is getting EXP but the other isn't. You guys could have like a much bigger advantage at a bot lane if you had both recalled after your priority early. Oh, this must be the Warwick that you talked about that one time where he healed to a full when he was at like 20%. He healed from like 20 to like 60. Oof. So, theoretically, the angle that you're throwing spells out there is fine if you want to throw E's that are hard to deal with, but it's going to make it harder to land a Q when you throw it from that angle. Is he dead? He can get Q'd again. Yeah. Because when you throw Qs from that angle, when they're below you, right? So if you're here and they're here, then you have to throw Qs, and they have multiple ways to dodge, right? But if they're down here and you're down here, then when you throw Qs, they have less ways to dodge, right? Because they're already here. So you can throw like a Q here if they are going to dodge up, or you throw it at them, and they have nowhere to dodge. So if you, like when you're throwing down at them like that, they have multiple avenues that they can dodge, and it makes it less likely. Whereas if you were parallel to where they were in lane, horizontally, then it makes it easier for you to land a Q. Because there's less guesswork. So that positioning can be really valuable. It can be valuable that you have a pink there and you can throw Qs over the wall if you're in the middle. But when they're pushed up to your turret like that, you can position yourself in a way, especially if you're at like a slight diagonal. Let's say they're here and you're here, then you can throw a Q that no matter which way they dodge it, a lot of the times it'll tag like whichever way they go. So being at like a diagonal to where they were would be really potent, but you ended up like purely vertical. So Warwick's just chomping everybody. The dude's a lunatic. So your comp should, in theory, scale better because you have the better front line, and Warwick, Diana have like a really reliable way to like close on people. Are they gonna get both kills out of this and get away? That'd be nuts. Pop it. Okay, you could have probably saved her. Probably could have saved her. Why is he even? Because Orin will scale really well tank-wise, and he has really reliable engage at all stages of the game. This guy's so fucking dead. Flash on Orin. What? Orin flash and eat his ass. And just breathe and he'll die. I'm pissed. I'm pissed. That was free. Orin doesn't want to use his damn flash. Oh, she's dead. Oh. She should be dead. Gonna eat and watch the new anime episode. Godspeed, dude. So you guys can either take bot turret off the fact that you just push them out of lane, or you can do dragon. Those are your two options. I like the bot turret option better because you can always dragon on exit. So you should ping bot turret, and then Warwick would probably come over and hit it with you guys. And Warwick does very high turret damage, plus you have Ezreal W. So you, instead of him being in the jungle picking these sketchy little fights, I mean, at least you get the ult to follow. He's gonna die on the back end, but instead of going 1-for-1, you guys could have just probably had like a free turret there, and then you evacuate, or you get like 90% of the turret, and then you come back for the same play, and then if they try to defend the turret, you just kill it. Nah, with where it's at, it would have died. But if you leave like a turret low, then it has like the threat, like that they still want to defend it, but obviously like they can't meaningfully defend it because it's too low. Did they get? No, they're just gonna get like half. No way that they get a priority here. And as Ashe doesn't have ultimate because she used it in the jungle, so you guys are really safe to play relatively aggressively. She didn't even use her Q after that. She could have done a lot more damage. This Kha'Zix has been very reactive. He responds to what the Warwick is trying to do, but he's never trying to make plays of his own. When this Kha'Zix could very easily be making plays around mid lane, especially with how like Orianna has basically been outplaying the Diana in every situation they get into, and her early advantage has meant that Orianna has been ahead forever. This Kha'Zix should be trying to punish on the bottom side of the map. He should be threatening you guys in bot lane when you move up and you're like pressuring. Like they have a pink there that he can invis through and then run into you guys. Like using ease like that when they have like a pink in the river like that, and you don't know where Kha'Zix is, and their mid lane was walking down. Like you actually both deserve to be dead. Like even though you're the only one that's gonna die, you should actually both be dead. That's actually inting. Like that was super bad. Because it was already communicated that the mid laner could be coming, and you don't know, and then they have the pink in the river, and you don't even know where Kha'Zix is in any capacity because you have no control on this side. So both of those variables are super scary, and you should respect those variables on that timing. And then when Orianna shows back to mid, and then if he kills Dragon, then he probably won't stick around after he kills Dragon, so you play careful for a little bit, and then you probably leave from there. But like maybe not, like maybe the next wave might be safe, but like 2 waves from then would probably be safe. But that was really bad. You both deserve to die for like your positioning there, but Like, you both could die for your position there is a better way to say it, because like you don't know where Kha'Zix is or something like that. And if Kha'Zix, like, if you go to for that brush when you don't know in any capacity, and their mid laner can be coming, then Kha'Zix is to go on you guys for free. And like Ezreal just used E offensively without flash either, could easily get punished. Because they were bringing their resources to that side of the map. That and like you guys' straddled recalls have been like the bigger issues in bot lane, where you guys could have a much bigger advantage. Kha'Zix can't stay here. I don't know why this Darius is walking up. This is super troll, because there's no world where they do anything meaningful to that guy. Like, Ornn is way too tanky. He could probably like 1v3 up there. Like, he would have won 1v2. He actually would have just straight up won 1v2. Didn't show bot lane, but I assume you just got Ashered and fell over. That's the assumption. Got Ashered, life ended. This Warwick is really strong. This Warwick and Ornn are actually so powerful. And this Kha'Zix hasn't been very effective, so he's going to be weak basically for the rest of it. Actually, this Kha'Zix evolved Q. He's trolling. Wait a minute. What the fuck? That's actually trolling. He evolved Q. That's so stupid. No wonder he can't fucking gank anything. My man has no invisible. That's so stupid. That's reportable, I swear. I swear it's reportable. Q Evolve Kha'Zix is only valuable if you're in a matchup where you can constantly invade the enemy jungler and kill them 1v1. Even then, R Evolve gets you so much more mobility through their jungle that it's just strictly basically better. For the way their comp works out, Ashe isn't the highest DPS 80 carry. Orianna takes a little while to get going. Zyra might be the person on your team that'll do the most damage to your front line at like this stage. So she could be really valuable to kill early in a fight, because Ornn will basically be able to like 1v3 their backline for an extended period in its current state. I'm surprised Orianna didn't ult there to buy time for Zyra, who was coming right behind her, because the CC might have meant that they could push Ezreal over in it. Ornn with his guaranteed engage on both backline. Both get CC'd for like 3 seconds. Super free. You guys should get mid turret. This could be mid turret, Rift Herald, and top turret if you wanted. Commit, kick his ass. Ornn backed up too early. You guys could safely dive there probably. With vision control, you can get vision control here too, because you have top lane that was already pushing. You have mid lane priority. Their Orianna is still dead. You can get vision control around Rift Herald, take Rift Herald, break whatever turret's left out of the outer ring. Then you, the two top lane right now, Warwick and Ornn, can actually dive that Darius. He's at like 80%. Even if he was at full, I think they can just dive him from full uncontestably. So that's a thing. Moving up too far before people can respond. At least they did collapse after the fact, but you can just be like 1 second further back, and this can't have any possibility of happening. And if that doesn't have any possibility of happening, then your team gets to collapse, and the same outcome happens where you get the kills, but you don't need to die in the first place to do it. Also, I hope Ezreal has a QSS like third. Probably like Manamoon, Tier Gauntlet, and then QSS. Because Asher was interactive. And they have a lot of magic damage like that he's going to have to interact with, because Zyra can put down damage that can hit him safely, and Orianna has threat to longer range AD carries, so it'd just be good to have. I'm almost surprised. I think I would have preferred if the Ornn and Warwick had just dove the Darius top lane and let you guys die in mid, but Warwick came down instead. I think it would be better that way, because they have really reliable dive. Here again, this Ornn's playing kind of back, but he could actually just 100% just dive this Darius. Like, Diana is about to be there. She's going to have a guaranteed Q. He can just charge into the turret there. He gets the knock-up for free, and then Diana gets the kill 100% of the time. So he's playing a little bit too far back there. He's been really proactive with his ultimates and moving around the map to make sure he gets good ultimates, controlling a lot of space, but he could be more proactive there. He could be the aggressor. Like when you guys are at mid turret, he can dive, move up, make sure that they can't clear the wave, tank the damage. Even if you don't dive, he can just stand in the way to make sure that you guys get the wave down. And then when you guys go top lane, then he should when he goes top lane with Diana there, then that should be free. Because he has the Darius walks straight into the turret, and since Darius walks into the turret, the knockup is free. Bot lane's building up. You guys are going to want to push in this wave, see if you can get something on it. Ornn does not have ultimate, but you guys can probably get it anyway. They didn't bring enough people, and then you should immediately get bot wave. Somebody needs to get bot wave. Bot wave's huge. Great job, Ezreal. Great job moving downward. And when he's going down there, they shouldn't be this aggressive in the enemy jungle, because obviously you're not going to have your AD carry. You're on the outskirts of the fight. Diana was like still pushing up in mid, so it's just not possible. Like Diana could potentially respond. You're on like the outskirts. I mean, you're going to get a good damage laser here, but it's just not realistic for you guys to be able to like contest that. That's not like your side of the map. Is she going to kill 2 people? No, not quite. So Ornn and Warwick, despite being very powerful and, you know, kind of dictating the pace of the game, might be inting there. Might be. They're not going to get anything on the back of it, which is definitely a misplay, because Darius could recall and they could run it straight down mid. Kha'Zix could recall, or even just like Orianna and Ashe could run it straight down mid, because Ezreal was still going to be in bot lane for a while, and then the only person in mid was Lux. Lux can be dove really easily by those two, because Ashe has her ultimate up. She just spent all of her mana on volleys, and she went bot lane, but she could have went straight to mid. If Lux is the only one defending, you ult Lux, kill Lux, take the turret. Simple. Or Lux backs up, and you get the turret a different way. Because Lux didn't get like the reset on her ultimate or anything, so she's not going to be able to use that on the wave. So Lux would be really vulnerable being the only person in mid there. So that would be a time where like Ezreal should have moved back up sooner to prevent that, potentially. But since they didn't capitalize on it, like it ended up being fine. But that would have been a time for Ezreal to move up, or you not to be at the turret and just give up the turret. And then you can set up bot wave and then prep Baron. Got flamed by a blue can when support Zillion did double his damage. Yep. Support Zillion's busted. That's not a fair comparison. That's not fair. That E forward, a little nuts, but I appreciate it, you know. The E forward flashback is always a treat to see. Oh, this time he wants to dive? Dude, dive the turret! E the turret! That was so free! That Darius is dead in real life. That Darius is dead in every other world. In every other world, that guy's dead. This Ornn does nothing. Not true. This Ornn is actually a huge part of why you're winning, and he's basically uncontestable by their team. But he's not abusing his advantage as well as he can. This is free on the back end. The only people they had alive had recalled. Literally everybody was coming out of their base, either from death or recall. Look, Nami does tons of damage too. Nami's a bully. I wish I had game sound. I hear this Warwick roaring. He can kill him easy. Yeah. Yeah, you can miss the ult and kill him anyway. Yeah. At this stage in the game, like, Warwick's gonna have like I mean, not Warwick, Kha'Zix's gonna have a really hard time like functioning unless people misposition terribly, especially because he didn't evolve his damn R early, which is where a lot of his power comes from, because then he can actually get around. Without R evolve, Kha'Zix is pretty damn useless. That Ashe should have arrowed a lot sooner. Like on the E forward, she could arrow, and then they might be able to 100 to Ezreal with like 2 Ashe autos, and then the Orianna damage that happened anyway. Ashe playing too far back. They definitely could have punished that before you guys had all collapsed. There's the Ornn ult again. So this is a good ult because it zones. It's not necessarily 2 kill. That ultimate guarantees that you get the turret, which is how he has been using them. He's been using them to make sure that you guys can get things. But in the same sense, like, he can very aggressively look for things that he's not looking for. The bug juked back into it. What a god. Look at this. Look at this helpful dog. Tanking the turret for his friends. How long does it take him to craft shit? It's like 3 seconds. It's interesting to me that Ornn ends up being strong enough a lot of the time that even without his gimmick to create items away from base, like, he's still just independently good. He doesn't need to be able to create items to necessarily be powerful. Just because his engage is so guaranteed and he's really hard to trade with early. So basically, you guys just play topside now, push up mid waves, collapse whenever there's a top wave that's going to go to beat into the turret. But pushing up mid is really important for vision. Bottle auto push. So you guys' win condition is through topside here, and then on the back end of a mid push, you rotate up when a wave builds up. You have like one person like guiding a wave in top lane. Then you preemptively set up the vision control in case you guys need another Baron after this happens. Tell him, Mina. Can you get to Ashe? Nope. Zyra trying to flank. Why would she even flash up? She's still dead. Bold. Bold, Zyra. Without people there, there's no reason for them to be defending. Ornn has a really high threat there, especially because there's a big gap in between those 2 turrets. Whereas, like, if you chase into the base, it's a little scarier. There's less real estate to move around. And then if they had all 5 here, they could potentially defend here. If they had everybody ready for it. Just like if Orianna was ready there, like with that arrow, she could have gotten like a 4-man ultimate after the arrow, and they might just one-shot Diana outright. Instead, they're going to trickle in and everybody's fight. So this game's over. So you guys' top side ended up being relatively strong. This Orianna actually did better than you would expect, partly because this Kha'Zix had literally no pressure whatsoever on any part of the map and evolved the wrong thing, so it was hard for him to even have pressure. Warwick and Ornn like slowly became like uncontestable while they moved around the map, and then that kind of enabled you guys to get like anything for free. No, this is a replay.